Imagine Sung Jinwoo, but he doesn't level up by grinding dungeons. He levels up by literally eating evil people's souls. And instead of getting stronger to protect his friends, this dude gets stronger because heaven decided justice doesn't exist. So he's making his own. By the end of this arc, this guy fires his whole household staff in under a minute, feeds a spy poison food on purpose, and puts on a cursed mask made out of a dead artisan's toes. Yeah, you heard that right. Stick around, because this broke noble origin story turns into one of the most unhinged power fantasies I've covered, and we're only scratching the surface today. We open with our man literally rotting at the bottom of a pit, and a creepy voice starts talking to him like it's been watching this whole time. Turns out our boy is the young master of the Liu Yang family, or at least he was, because before this pit, somebody cut out his tongue, blinded him with a hot iron, and took his limbs one by one like bro was fully dismantled piece by piece, and it gets worse. While he was being tortured, his entire family got wiped out, mansion burned down, his sisters gone, tragic endings all around. And the second the family line collapsed, all his relatives immediately started throwing hands over who gets to be the new head of the household. Nothing says family bonding like a full-on inheritance death match while the house is still on fire. Am I right? And here's the kicker. This kid was actually built different since childhood age. 4, organizing entire medical texts for fun. Age 5, giving the emperor advice. This isn't some random background character. This is a certified genius that the universe decided to curb stomp anyway. And that's when he just breaks. He accepts that he was born under a cursed star and decides to just let fate do whatever it wants with him. That's when Shadow Guy, let's just call him Landlord because he's about to make our boy sign the worst lease agreement in history, grabs him by the throat and tells him a story. Back in the day, evil people lived like kings, while good people suffered and died just the same. No karma, no divine justice, just straight up the universe doesn't care. Very encouraging bedtime story, Landlord. So naturally, when Landlord offers him the power to rewrite the past, our guy says, yeah, sure, eternal damnation sounds great actually, and signs a forbidden scripture literally stitched together with human skin because subtlety was never on the table. The artifact reveals itself as the scripture of the Dark Sovereign, a book built to consume the world's rot, and with a final blinding flash and a glowing blue eye taking over the frame, he's reborn not as a hero, as the Dark Sovereign here to punish bad karma the old-fashioned way with violence. He wakes up full body scan. Wait, he can talk. He can see. He's got all his limbs. And then it hits him. He's been sent back to being 17. Regression arc unlocked. Outside, the servants are literally clowning on him, calling him pathetic, isolated, a lost cause. Meanwhile, Bro is running an internal diagnostic and realizing his stats are now, quote, absurdly advanced. The disrespect is about to get very expensive for these people. This is the sit in the club with a nobody haircut before the glow-up montage trope, and I am here for it. He plays it cool, masks the Horus, and steps out into the courtyard like nothing happened immediately, spooking the entire staff because the broken young master never comes outside this early. Real quick before we keep going, this next section is where the story stops being sad, backstory, and starts being corporate takeover, but make it terrifying because coming up, our guy doesn't just clean house. He's about to walk face first into a golden-eyed spy sent to expose him, get thrown into a literal illusion trap by his own security system, and discover the actual mechanic behind his new powers. If you thought the torture arc was rough, wait till you see what leveling up costs him. Let's go. First order of business house cleaning. He calls every single servant to the courtyard, and with zero warning fires literally all of them. No severance, no exit interview, nothing, just straight up. You're all spies, get out. The head servant tries to push back, and our guy just laughs, this cold, unsettling laugh, and threatens brutal punishment if anyone questions him again. Everyone drops to their knees, begging packs their bags, and Dip's mission accomplished. Every single spy monitoring his every move gone in one afternoon. Obviously, word travels fast. The head butler, let's call him corporate HR because he's the guy who handles situations, remembers seeing our boy pull off flawless sword skills 10 years ago as a literal child, and gets nervous. So he sends in his secret weapon, Meet Young Ah, a maid with actual golden eyes that can see through hidden intentions, basically a walking lie detector. Corporate HR sends her in to figure out what's really going on with our regressed menace. The second she gets near his pavilion, she clocks that these servants are actually elite warriors in disguise. Red flags everywhere, she keeps walking anyway. Bold move. Turns out the whole area is wrapped in a dense magical defense formation, and when she pushes through it, she gets yanked into a full-on illusion nightmare. Black hands, dark water, the whole horror movie package, and right before she goes under for good, he's the one who reaches in and pulls her out. Plot twist, the terrifying, regressed noble is also your emergency contact, multitasking king. She wakes up surrounded by medical books that shouldn't exist outside the Imperial Palace, then wanders out into a garden that's somehow in full bloom. In the middle of winter, this dude's pavilion has better weather control than most kingdoms. He introduces himself, throws down her orders like, "Yeah, I know exactly why you're here," and just coldly dismisses her. No emotion, full corporate villain energy. She drops to her knees, begging for forgiveness. And here's where it gets interesting, because he actually recognizes her. Not from now, from the future. Turns out this maid grows up to be a legendary figure known as the Golden-Eyed Witch. So instead of executing her like a normal cold protagonist, Woody asks the most random possible follow-up question: can you cook? She goes all out full feast, and he makes her sit and eat with him, even feeding her the first bite himself. Which, side note, the next morning, she realizes what actually happened. She wasn't invited to dinner. She was the poison taster, because after everything he's been through, he trusts literally nobody. Bro really said welcome to the family and meant it as a job description. Turns out being resurrected by a demonic scripture comes with side effects, namely an insatiable hunger that regular food cannot fix. That night, sitting under the moon, the shadows straight up start whispering commands at him. Hunt. He crashes into a tavern and starts wildly tearing into raw meat like a man possessed, sending every patron running for their lives. New fear unlocked getting seated next to this guy at dinner, but then he catches a scent. Not food evil coming from an alleyway where a group of tax collectors from the Black Bone faction, let's just call them the Tax Bros, are beating up a random merchant for money. He whistles this sharp soul, rattling sound and steps out of the shadows radiating pure. You messed with the wrong household energy. He casually snaps the leader's arm and drains his life force straight out of his body like a Capri Sun, then hunts down the rest of the tax bros one by one through the dark streets. The Black Bone faction really picked the wrong alley to collect taxes in. He blacks out and wakes up in this insane underground crypt full of coffins and skeleton monsters, and this decrepit floating elder with glowing eyes shows up. Let's call him Skeleton Yoda, because he's about to dump the entire power system lore on us in one go. Skeleton Yoda explains he's basically an immortal who spent literal eras studying this scripture. And here's the actual mechanic. This power lets him absorb malicious souls to get stronger. So every evil person he kills isn't just justice, it's literally XP. The vision collapses and he's back to normal life. So now we officially know the game hunt: evil absorb, power repeat. Over tea the next morning, Young Ah puts it together. She's the poison taster. She's the spy. She's basically an accessory in his trust issues starter pack. And instead of being mad, she straight up drops to her knees and swears full loyalty. He tells her the real reason he's been so paranoid. His father's in a coma, poisoned by someone in the family. This isn't just trauma response. This is an active assassination plot. Cue, interruption, soldiers show up, representing the third young master. Let's call him Threequel, demanding Young Ah be handed over immediately. Threequel really said, "That's my emotional support." Spy hand her over and got instantly demoted to gate guard duty for the audacity. Then a senior butler shows up with a personal letter from the second brother. Let's call him Corporate Nepo Baby about Young Ah's fate. And our guy doesn't even open it straight into the fire because he already knows exactly what game they're playing. Young Ah opens up about her own past. Her family got wrecked by a loan shark named Gumjill, and her talented older sister now works as a city informant to survive. He decides to visit her sister personally, but first flexes the actual golden seal of the family patriarch just to get Young-ah some proper clothes, using the ancient royal seal of ultimate authority to go shopping priorities. They roll into the city, and he immediately ditches his own guards to slip off and handle business alone. He tracks down a destroyed artisan workshop, another casualty of the Black Bone faction's reign of terror. And tucked away in the wreckage, he finds a strange, unfinished white clay mask. No eye holes, nothing polished, because the dying artisan who made it sculpted this thing using nothing but his bloody toes, out of pure hatred for what was done to him. Genuinely, one of the most metal weapon origin stories I've ever covered, made with feet fueled by rage. The second he puts it on, he channels every ounce of that artisan's eternal resentment, turning it into raw, dark justice. And that's where we're stopping today. So yeah, in one arc, this guy went from tortured blind and limbless at the bottom of a pit to running a household purge, adopting a spy as his personal poison detector, and putting on a cursed mask made of literal grief and toes. And honestly, I don't think he's even close to done real talk, though he fired an entire staff of loyal-ish servants with zero warning, and he's straight up using Young-ah as a poison taster without telling her. Is that cold, calculated survival? Or is our hero already becoming the villain of somebody else's story? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want part 2 where he actually puts that mask to work, smash that like button so the algorithm knows to send it your way.